Page 164. My heart fills with sadness at the thought of what he must have been through. I'm too naive to know exactly what, but the research should shed some light. But do I really want to know? Do I want to explore this world I know nothing about? It's such a big step. If I'd not met him, I'd still be sweetly and blissfully oblivious. My mind drifts to last night and this morning, and the increasable sensual sexuality I've experienced. Do I want to say goodbye to that? No, screams my subconscious. My inner goddess nods in silent zen-like agreement with her. Kate wanders back into the living room, grinning from ear to ear. Perhaps she's in love. I grape at her. She's never behaved like this. Anna, I'm off to bed. I'm pretty tired. Me too, Kate. She hugs me. I'm glad you're back in one piece. There's something about Christian, she adds quietly. Apologetically, I give her a small, reassuring smile, all the while thinking, how the hell does she know? This is what will make her a great journalist. Her unflattering intuition. Collecting my purse, I wander listlessly into my bedroom. I am weary from all the central excursions of last day and from the complete and utter dilemma that I'm faced with. I sit on my bed and gingerly extract the manily envelope from my bag. Turn it in over and over in my hands. Do I really want to know the extent of Christian's depravity? It's so daunting. I take a deep breath, and with my heart in my throat, I rip open the envelope. Chapter 11. There are several papers inside the envelope. I fish them out, my heart still pounding, and I sit back on my bed and begin to read. Contract. Made this day of 2011, the commences date, between Mr. Christian Grey of 301 Eskale, Seattle, WA 9889, the dominant, Miss Anastasia Steele of 114 SW Green Street, apartment 7, Heaven Heights, Vancouver, WA 9888. The submissive. The parties agrees as follows. The following are the terms of the binding contract between the dominant and the submissive. Fundamental terms. The fundamental purpose of this contract is to allow the submissive to explore her sensuality and her limits safely with due respect and regard for her needs, her limits, and her well-being. The dominant and the submissive agree and acknowledge that all occurrences under the terms of this contract will be consensual, confidential, and subject to the agreed limits and safety procedures set out in this contract. Additional limits and safety procedures may be agreed in writing. The dominant and the submissive each warrant what they suffer from no sexual serious infections or life-threatening illnesses, including but not limited to HIV, herpes, and hepatitis. If during the term, as divided below, or an extended term of this contract, either party should be diagnosed or become aware of such illnesses, he or she undertakes to inform the others immediately and in the event prior to any form of physical contact between the parties. 5. Adherence to the above warnings, agreements and undertakings, and any additional limits and safety procedures agreed under Clause 3 are fundamentally to this contract. Any breach shall render it void with immediate effect, and each party agrees to be fully responsible to the other for the consequences of any breach. Number 6. Everything in this contract must be read and interpreted in the light of the fundamental purpose and the fundamental terms set out clauses 2 to 5 above. Roles. 7. The dominant shall take full responsibility for the well-being of the proper training, guidance and discipline of the submissives. He shall decide the nature of such training, guidance and disciplines, and the time and place of its administration, subject to the agreed terms, limitations and safety procedures set out in the contract or agreed additionally under clause 3 above. If any time the dominant shall fail to keep the agreed terms, limitations and safety procedures set out in this contract or agreed additional under clause 3 above, the submissive is entitled to terminate this contract forthwith and to leave the service of the dominant without notice. Number 9. Subject to the privacy and the clause 2 to 5 above, the submissive is set out to serve and obey the dominant in all things, subject to the agreed terms, limitations and safety procedures set out in this contract or agreed additionally under clause 3 above. She shall, without query or hesitation, offer the dominant such pleasure as he may require, and she shall accept without query or hesitation his training, guidance and disciplines in whatever form it may take. Commencement and term. Number 10. The dominant and submissive enter in the contract of the commenced date, fully aware of its nature, and undertake to abide by its conditions without expectation. Number 11. The contract shall be effective for a period of 3 calendar months from the commenced date, the term. On expiry of the term, the parties shall discuss whether this contract and the agreements that they have made under the contract are satisfactory and whether the needs of each party have been met. Either party may propose the extension of the contract subject to the adjournments to its terms or to the arrangements that they have made under it. In the absence of agreement to such extension, this contract shall terminate and both parties shall be free to resume their lives separately. Availability. Number 12. The submissive will make herself available to the dominant from Friday evenings through to Sunday afternoons, each week during the term times to be specified by the dominant, the allotted times. Further allocated time can be mutually agreed on an ad hoc basis. The dominant reserves the right to dismiss the submissive from his service at any time for any reason. The submissive may request her release at any time, such request to be granted at the discretion of the dominant, subject only to the submissive's rights under the clauses 2 to 5 and 8 above. Location. The submissive will make herself available during the allotted times and agreed additional times at the locations to be determined by the dominant. The dominant will ensure that all travel costs incurred by the submissive for the purpose are met by the dominant. Services provisions. The following service provisions have been discussed and agreed and will be adhered by both parties during the term.